Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. So make the best of this test and don't ask why. It's not a question, but a lesson learned in time. Something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you have the time of your life. Something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you have the time of your life. Welcome to the Untethered podcast, streaming live to you from the internet. And now, here's your host, Jake Johnson. Hey, what's happening, everybody? It's your host, Jake Johnson, coming to you live from the internet, from parts unknown, hiding out somewhere in the nethers of the off-coast world of North Carolina, hiding from the man, as it were. What's up, Kevin? Good to see you, buddy. How are my peeps? How are things going in your neck of the woods? Or wherever you're from. It might not be the woods. You might be in a city. Who knows? It's hot. Well, talkative bunch, are you? Thank God it's Friday. It's finally Friday. Once again, gotta get ready for the wild weekend. It's finally Friday. And I'll jump in. I'll strip naked and the beach won't win. Yes, thank God it's Friday, but I wish it was Sunday. I enjoy Sunday. And Monday. Which is unusual for most people. They hate Mondays. I kind of like it. April, what's happening, dear? Good to see you here. Please keep your clothes on. Oh, come on. You couldn't handle it anyway. I'm so sexy it'd make your eyes bleed. I wish I were 15 years ago. Me too. If it were 15 years ago, I'd be 15 years younger than I am now. That would be nice. But why settle for 15 years when you can have 20? Because if you're dreaming, you might as well dream big. I'd like to be 20 years old again. Of course, 20 years ago, I'd be 27. Wow. That's when you know you're old, when you can say, 20 years ago, I was a grown man. That's what I mean. Yep. We're getting old. All the hair's turning gray and the bones are stopping working. The muscles are arguing with me when I try to do things. Yep. Getting old ain't for sissies. My mother once said. You gotta be tough to face the old years. Dadgummit. But if you can be pushing 50 and still have an arm like that, look at that. Look at that. You hurt for no reason? Well, there's definitely a reason for me hurting, but it's a reason I don't agree with. That's why God made pain pills. And the Lord giveth, and the Lord taketh away. Ah. Look who came to see us. Tell them about gout. I'm coming, Kev. What do you want to know about gout? It's a buildup of uric acid. And it causes your... Stop eating a lot of shrimp and a lot of pork, and you won't have that problem. Don't eat shellfish. Don't eat pork, and you won't have gout. Gout's a bad thing. They call it the king's disease because people that used to glutton themselves and eat big portions until they threw up, you know, like in the French days, they would get gout real bad because of the gluttony. We are on the way to the casino. Good. Win me some money. I got to pay electric bills. I'm just kidding. Have fun. Enjoy yourself. And alcohol. Alcohol definitely excites gout. I don't think it causes it, but it definitely excites it. So if you have gout, don't drink alcohol, because you'll have a lot of pain the next day. Especially beer. Liquor, not so much, but beer, definitely. But I think it's the yeast in the beer. I don't really know. I don't have gout myself, but I knew someone who did. And it's really bad. Today, we are going to talk about the military. Semper Fi. Ion, but am still drinking bourbon, regardless of what April says. Well, you'll pay for it. Not me. I'm drinking coffee. Irish coffee. Scottish coffee. No, gout is not fun. I've seen a man's foot swell up till his toes were pointing sideways. My dad had gout real bad, and it caused him quite a lot of agony, and he never would slow down the drinking, and that's what was causing his to flare up. But again, I tell you, it's because of how you eat. Stop eating so much shellfish and pork. Take that out of your diet, and your gout will go down. I know it sucks because those things taste good, but it ain't worth the pain you're going to go through with the gout. Cheers. Enjoy. Preach it, Jake. I will. Today we're going to talk about the military. Semper Fi. We're going to talk about the military and the lack thereof. Gives me a fright at night. I'm going to play some videos for you, and then I'm going to comment on them. So, YouTube, no copyright strike. This is a commentary. I'm getting tired of getting claimed for copyrights when I've clearly stated in my bio, and every time I play a video, I comment on it, or every time I sing a song, I'm getting copyright claims. It's not that. I'm not making any money off your songs or your videos. So stop copyright claiming me, please. I am now eating a salad and baked chicken. Well, that's good for you. Minus the salad. Salad's got a lot of stuff in it. The way they process salad, they put a chemical on it that can exacerbate asthma symptoms. I forget what it's called now. I dated a girl with asthma. That's why I know that. But something they put on the lettuce to keep it fresh. If you want to eat lettuce, get it out of a ground and eat it. Don't get processed lettuce like iceberg lettuce or whatever. Anytime it's cut up, they put something on it. So you want a head of lettuce. And they probably put it on that too. I don't really know. But I know those bags of lettuce that you get when you get salads and stuff, how they get it out of a bag. I know that stuff is processed. It's not good for you. There's very hardly anything good for you anymore. The best way that you can guarantee having a healthy diet is if you grow your own food. That way you know what's put on it. And don't get your seeds from Monsanto. Get legacy seeds. Or, you know what I mean. Heirloom seeds. Right idea, wrong word. Damn. According to you guys, I need to starve because everything causes gout. Does sex cause gout too? Probably. No, it doesn't. And also, everything doesn't cause gout, just shellfish and pork. You're not supposed to eat shellfish and pork anyway. They're scavengers. I need the troll to help me. Yeah, he might pop in. He usually makes an appearance anyway, if he don't stay very long. But yeah, pork and shellfish are not good for you to eat. You're not supposed to eat those things. Those are scavengers. They are the things that clean the earth. They eat the dead things. They keep the earth fresh. If you eat them all, there's nothing to clean the earth up anymore. See why we're having a problem? There is a dog barking outside. I don't have a dog. That's weird. I had a dog, but someone stole him. Or he died. I don't know which. I left him here while I was in Snow Hill living. But I would come by every day and feed him. And one day I came by to feed him and he wasn't here. And I never saw him again. I went by the pound and he wasn't there. And I looked for him every time I drove through, but I never did see him. I think somebody in my family might have decided that I wasn't feeding him and I was mistreating my dog and they took him. But I don't know. I can't prove that. Certain things make me think that, though. Certain things that used to be here that are no longer here and only certain people would have known about. Makes me think that. But I can't prove anything, so. Just know that I'm home now, and if you appear in my yard, you will be shot violently and repeatedly if I don't expect you to be there. And don't think I won't, because I will. I came from the old school. What's mine is mine until I give it to you. But if you take it from me, there's a bullet with your ass's name on it. And that's just the way it be. Anyway, anything you guys would like to hear or talk about before I get into the military stuff? I'm going on a rabbit hole today. I would like to show you something or two about the state of the world we live in. Just for, personal reference, knowledge. I shall show you reality. Let's see how many people are here yet. Woo! I'm going to play a video, or a few minutes of a video, and I'm probably going to skip around a little because I don't want to watch the whole thing. The purpose of it is just to catch a glimpse into what's going on, not just to watch the whole thing. So if you see it skip ahead, just know that I'm just looking for the stuff I want you to see in the video without having to watch the whole thing. I think that the longest one's like 20 minutes long, but we're not going to watch 20 minutes worth of a video. We might watch 5 minutes of it. So, let's do it in reverse, shall we? Let's start with a video from the 70s. or 60s. Might be 60s, might be 70s, I don't know which. This is our military. This is a training course at Parris Island in South Carolina. The training course is the same today as it was in the 60s. In other words, it hasn't changed. They do the same thing every year with every turnout of Marines that come through there. These are young men going in to be the front lines, the Marines, the people who go out and kill the bad guys. These are the guys, the ones you should be afraid of, the ones that Delta Forces and all that are scared of. The Marines. Just watch a few minutes of this video. I'll be back.
These are United States Marines. They're professional. These are United States Marines. They're professional fighting men, dedicated to the defense of their country and fiercely proud of their corps and its traditions. The Marine holds a unique position and reputation in the profession of arms. One of their own, Colonel John W. Thomason, Jr., wrote of them, "You could find every sort of man from every sort of calling." There were large-boned fellows from Pacific Coast lumber camps and tall, lean Southerners who swore amazingly in gentle, drawling voices. Husky farmers from the Corn Belt and youngsters who had sprung to arms from the necktie counter. Diverse people who ran curiously to type, with drilled shoulders and a bone-deep sunburn and a tolerant scorn of nearly everything on earth. The old breed of American regular regarding the service as home and war as an occupation. Today, this old breed of American regular has to function in terms of a great many new techniques. In addition to his skill at amphibious assault, he is now mastering the method of attack known as vertical envelopment. The helicopter gives him the ability to move swiftly ashore regardless of beach conditions and to come in where his enemy is not, to open the attack on terms and at the place of his own choosing. The Marine of today must be ready for any kind of fight, from a brush fire war to full-scale nuclear combat. How a Marine Corps enlistee comes to be one of these professionals, ready and able to take his place in America's defensive armory. How he comes to be a Marine. This is the story we want to tell today. There are two Marine Corps recruit depots, one at San Diego in California and a larger one at Parris Island, South Carolina. Training at
They take a lot of time and care to make sure that every man's shoes. The confidence course is rightly named. As with the rest of the recruit training, it starts with easier obstacles and works gradually up through the tougher ones. Some of the final ones you don't get to until late in the training cycle. Biological chemical warfare, personal hygiene, American democracy, the mechanics of weapons. One high point in the training comes when the recruits take part in a field meet. At this stage, you're working with the final and roughest section of the confidence course. And every time you successfully do something you never thought you could do, just that much more confidence and assurance is the result.
All right, you get the idea. Now, before I go into commenting about that little short video and show you the next one, you're never going to believe what just happened to me. I figured while I played the video, I'd run outside and take a pee real quick. And I opened my back door, and there sits my dog. I haven't seen my dog in 2 years. Isn't it odd that I just talked about my dog, and then I walked outside and found him? Isn't that a little strange? You tell me, what the hell is going on? 2 years ago, my dog disappeared. I thought he was dead. I quit looking for him after a week. I heard a dog barking, and I walked outside, and there's my dog sitting on the front steps like he's never left. I lived in another place for 2 years. There's my dog. He doesn't look sick. He doesn't look unhealthy. He looks like my dog. Except he's got a gray beard now. I'm dumbfounded. Either somebody heard me talking about him and brought him back, or God works in mysterious ways. I've thought my dog was dead for 2 years now. 2 whole years. And there he is, sitting on my back steps like he's never left. Can you understand that? Are you still there? Nothing? Wow, okay. Y'all check out when I started playing the video, or you're not interested in this subject? Anyway, the purpose of that video was to show you that the Marines are tough. They're strong. They're fast. They're hardcore. They do a lot of stuff in a basic training, and that video just touches on it. The next video shows it in more depth. What kind of dog is he? He is a Labrador, black lab. 2 years he's been gone. I thought he was dead. I stopped looking for him after a week. I heard a dog barking a few minutes ago, and I said I don't have a dog. Remember that? Yeah, black lab, right? So I walked outside, and there he is, sitting on my back steps, like he never left. Walked right up to me and jumped up on the little spot where he jumps up on my leg. Huh. You better do something right, because tonight's a good luck night. Thank you, Father, for the safe return of my dog. Whoever had him must have heard me talking about him and let him over. All right. So anyway, that was the first video. I'll show you a little piece of the second video, and then on to the piece de la resistance, the creme de la creme, the marijuana pia. Now I'm just making words up. Anyway, part 2.
The Marine Corps has also launched a new recruiting campaign, and some people consider it a not-so-subtle put-down of the Army's attempt to join the younger generation.
Look at these guys.
The Marines emphasize they're not joining anybody, that it's tougher than ever to become a Marine, and that only men, not boys, need apply.
Only men, not boys, need apply. These guys are fierce.
They also admit that the real purpose of the Marines is to fight wars.
For nearly 2 centuries now, we've kept...
The real purpose of the Marines is to fight wars, to kill people.
our standards high and our ranks small. We're a tough club to join and a tough team to make, and that's exactly how we're going to keep it.
It's a tough team to join and a tough team to make, and that's exactly how we're going to keep it.
As recruits in the United States Marine Corps, you are the lords of all ranks and will conduct yourself accordingly, affording all superiors proper military courtesy.
Soldier.
Anytime that you're spoken to, you will always use the word yes, sir, no, sir. Anytime that you want to speak to a drill instructor or any Marine around here, you will come up, get yourself at the position of attention, which you are at right now, and say, sir, private.
Moving on.
Consider that an understatement.
I don't want you back at the position of attention.
The Marines call it the shock treatment.
As soon as I pass you.
For 9 weeks, the would-be Marine lives in a fashion that is definitely not permissive.
Bring the snack up to my table when
You see, you can't keep your civilian clothes or anything in your pockets. You can send it home, you can donate it to the Salvation Army, but you cannot keep it. Once you're issued a Marine issued uniform, you no longer put on civilian clothing.
get through, you understand?
The separation from the last vestiges of civilian identity is both rapid and complete.
We want a few
Notice the shorn heads. All heads get shaved down to nothing, unless you're female.
good men who are proud of their country and who want to serve it in a proud corps. We want men who aren't conformists, but who are disciplined individualists who believe in principles because they have made the decision themselves and not just followed a fad. If everyone could be a Marine, we wouldn't be the Marines.
Says you. Now, I want you to pay close attention to the looks on the faces of these men, these young men who have given their life to service of our country, who fight wars, who are the front line of our defense system. They go out first and they kick the hardest.
We want quality, not quantity. And we're not looking for a lot of Marines. We just want a few good men.
This, by the way, was 30 years ago.
The few good men the Marines say they're looking for will spend a lot of time like this. The emphasis is on pride and discipline, achieved by pushing the recruit further than he thinks he can go, both physically and mentally.
You hear those animals baying in the background? Arr, arr. You hear them? Those are monsters. Those are the kind of men you want to stand behind when the war starts. Those are the men you send out to defeat armies. These men are monsters. They're animals. They will tear you from limb to limb and be proud of it.
Marines are not interested in young America's changing lifestyles. The Corps has its own lifestyle.
The Marines are not interested in young Americans changing lifestyles. The Marines has their own lifestyle.
And they're not planning to change it.
And they're not planning to change it. Ever.
You gave me shoulder to shoulder.
We want good men who know that war isn't a game. We want men who feel that while nobody likes war or wants war, somebody has to know how to fight to win.
That's right.
I want to see some blood. Get him.
And in front of hand 3 and 2.
There's a washout right there. Oh, there he goes. He won't be in the Marines very long. He's not man enough. Here goes a monster. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
How about stay in the front?
Turn the right hand around. Move it off, please.
Okay. So you get the point. The Marines are the front line. They are the warriors, the warrior class, the one that all the other military are afraid of. They're the guys you send out to battle because they have a lifestyle unto themselves. They're not interested in the young community and their changing lifestyle. They have a lifestyle of their own, and that's the way they plan to keep it, right? That was at Paris Island. Those monsters could eat that rope. This is what it looks like today.
This Marine Corps recruit isn't actually injured. He's playing the role of a wounded Marine during a simulated casualty evacuation.
Noticed that other Marine, when he started screaming, put his boot in his mouth. That's probably where it belongs.
All of you draw faster now.
Aye, sir. Sir.
And his fellow recruits have to drag him, inch by inch, to safety.
It's not a comfortable thing to carry someone on your back and drag them through the mud. You sweat more in training, so you bleed less in combat.
You sweat more in training, so you bleed less in combat. Just let that sink in for a minute. Look at that baby face.
It's part of their final test at boot camp.
Look at that.
Known as the Crucible. A 54-hour event that all recruits must complete.
Fox, you're breaking down. Aye, sir.
Look how tired they
spent
look.
4 days at the Marine Corps Recruit Depot in Parris Island, South Carolina, to chronicle one company taking on the challenge.
They are doing trust tests, jumping into the arms of their fellow soldiers like they're at a retreat camp. You don't hear any monsters screaming in the background. You don't hear see any warriors' faces. You see children who don't want to be there.
The last step.
Look how slow they move.
Officially becoming
Look how slow they're moving.
Marines.
Company, attention.
The Crucible occurs.
They got masks on. These are the Marines who eat death for breakfast. They got masks on, and that one isn't wearing it right.
In week 11 of the Marine Corps' 13-week boot camp. The day before, recruits from the gender-integrated hotel company assemble in front of their barracks for a...
Recruits from the gender-integrated hotel company. I don't want that on my front lines. Do you? Do you want to see that defending your country?
Briefing.
Look at those cornrows. Is that military issue? Why didn't she get her head shaved? I don't think they let you have cornrows in the military. Maybe they do. Maybe I'm wrong.
Although female recruits have trained at Parris Island since 1949, gender-integrated companies didn't emerge until 2019.
You know what that bun is? You know what that bun is? That's a perfect place for a bad guy to grab you and shake your head like that. Cut it off.
As of January 2021, this group of recruits was the most gender-diverse company of enlisted recruits.
And there you have it. That's what the military is interested in today. Gender diversity. Not warriors who can tear down the enemy, but as long as you tick all the boxes. And that's why you have a Marines that look like babies at ROTC.
History of the Marine Corps. And among those in hotel company are a brother and sister from Georgia, 21-year-old Lázaro Cisneros and his...
These are Marines! 1 week from getting the official Marine pendant. 1 week. That's their last training. They are Marines.
19-year-old sister, Myra.
My sister and me are here doing the Crucible together. We're in the same company. We usually don't see each other often, but we always get like a glimpse of each other.
It's actually motivating, just being able to see him be there. I know that there's somebody here that knows me. He's going through this with me. He knows the pain I'm going through.
Look at that face.
Is
that the face of a killer?
Or 2 a.m. It's lights on in the squad bays of hotel company.
Hit it, gun. Isaac, lights! Get on now! 1, 2, 3, 55, 56. Yeah, that's good.
We had to rush, very stressful, thinking about how the day was going to go.
Recruits don their desert utility uniforms, known as desert camis.
Camis, not camos, camis, because everything is diverse now. And they're in the forest. Why are they putting on desert camo? They're at Parris Island, South Carolina. There's no desert there. Why would they do that?
Fold the first sheet with you and your rackmate now.
They square away their racks and
I guess they traded their camis for their pajamas.
ready their gear, which weighs about 50 pounds.
50 pounds! The old gear weighed 150 pounds. The new gear weighs 50 pounds.
While some recruits may be smiling now,
Look at his eyes.
won't be for long.
Look at that guy's eyes. He's dead inside. He'll never make it.
After one final trip to the head, the recruits form up outside to officially
One final trip to the head, so they had a trip before that. The old Marines would have told you to pee in your pants if you couldn't hold it.
begin the crucible.
We all understand what that means, right?
Yes, sir.
You should probably scream a lot louder.
Aye, sir.
You should probably scream a lot louder.
A long hike in the cold
You don't seem too
darkness.
enthused.
Yes, sir.
Approximately 6 miles in length, so nothing too arduous for the beginning, but just enough that they understand, like, hey, you're on your own. We're not getting you bussed out there. You're going to walk out there just like you're going to walk back.
The Marines. You're not going to get bussed out. We're not going to pamper you today. You're going to have to walk 6 whole miles. Not 14, but 6. Five hours in.
554. So everyone get a count for your own.
Look at that.
When the sun
Look at
comes
that.
up,
Those are children. They've got no business being in the military.
the events of day one begin.
Let me just ask you, if Russia attacked America today, would you want those girls protecting you and your children? If you had a brain tumor and they said, well, the surgeon is Latino, would you be happy with that? Well, is he the best brain surgeon? No, not even close, but he's Latino. He checks the box. Well, do you have a better brain surgeon on staff? Yeah, but he's not, he's a white guy. I want the better brain surgeon. But we got a Latino guy. Don't you want him? We got 3 girls who just got finished shopping at the mall, but they hold machine guns now. Put their hair up in a bun. That one's got makeup on. Makeup. A Marine.
Corporal Dunham immediately alerted his fellow Marines to the threat.
Each crucible event is inspired by an actual occurrence in
Yeah, that's an inspiring speech when she's holding it up. She hadn't even memorized it. Can't barely read.
Marine Corps history.
Corporal Dunham covered the grenade with his helmet and body.
And before the event begins, the squad leader educates the group on its historical significance.
He saved the lives of at least 2 fellow Marines. All gear should be on. You are facing forward. Line it up. 2 columns. Pick it up.
This group begins with an enhanced obstacle course.
I don't know why you
Enhanced. They didn't even have to jump over that log. They just had to fall over it.
You're struggling with a simple obstacle.
Aye, sir.
Huh?
Get on the bar.
Watch this. Oh,
The
yeah.
obstacle course is
She can't even hold her own body weight up. Yeah, that's the Marine I want to be behind.
out there. They've seen it all before.
Look at this. Look,
It's
look,
just
look.
Now we're adding a couple of more factors in there to make it more difficult.
Now, what they don't tell you is that they lowered the standards by 50% to allow women to join the military. They don't even have to do what the men have to do to get in. They have to do half. Half.
Now they also need to safely transport 35-pound ammo cans across the course.
They're not even smart enough to tie it on their back. They're trying to go across the course toting an ammo box, 30 pounds. That's 2 loaves of bread and a container of yogurt. Look at this
When
guy.
recruits
He's
fail
crying.
to negotiate the obstacle,
15 burpees. Let's go.
their drill instructor orders them to do burpees.
Burpees. Burpees. That's what you do to a child. You burp it. That's what they're doing. Burpees.
And they're punished as a group.
This is their punishment.
Although this recruit was able to conquer the obstacle, her fellow recruits were not.
I'll let you get down 16 burpees.
Look at her face.
So she had to pay alongside them.
I don't got no good.
Go.
Yeah, go.
Grab onto the damn bar. Hold the bar. Wow, look, it's not that hard.
That was an artificial sunburst, by the way. They added that in so that you didn't see him fall like an idiot.
I'm just gonna think about all good stuff. Right?
That guy's crying!
Fruit punch, Pepsi.
Fruit punch and Pepsi.
Miami.
Sunny.
Yeah, we got some sun, but no heat.
That's crazy.
Only 6 hours into the crucible, and tensions are starting to flare.
My last girlfriend hit harder than that.
Yeah, you're still doing the same thing.
Sir.
Yo, you want to freaking roll your eyes at me?
No, sir.
You sure?
Yes, sir.
'Cause I literally just saw you do that.
No, sir.
So a lot of times they could get frustrated because they're cold, they're uncomfortable.
They're cold and uncomfortable. The Marines. Half of them were wearing glasses. You're not supposed to wear glasses if you're a Marine. You're supposed to have 20/20 vision. Hello? America?
No, sir.
You got an action problem?
No, sir.
Execute the daggum trainer.
Yes, sir.
That's a
Drill instructor. Used the word daggum. You ever seen Full Metal Jacket? That's a drill sergeant. That's a real drill sergeant playing in a movie.
very common thing that we see. Oftentimes the recruits just correct themselves though, because at this point, they already know what's right and what's wrong.
At this point, they should be walking on their own without having somebody tell them how to act. At this point, they're a week away from being a Marine.
Fortunately, they'll soon have a chance to blow off steam.
Look at this guy. Does any part of that man look like he could hurt you? Any part? I wouldn't be intimidated by that guy if he was holding a .50 caliber machine gun. He probably couldn't hoist it up high enough to shoot me with it.
When they step inside a structure known as the
Octagon.
I see some vicious and some intensity, dude!
First,
Get her in the face!
recruits fight each other with bugle sticks.
Again!
They're tired, they're hungry, and now we're pitting them against each other. At some point, you are going to be face to face with somebody through all these conditions, and you're still going to have to be aggressive enough to win.
Yeah.
Penalty box. I'm sure. Get out.
The winner of the bout runs through a hatch below a sign that says Devil Dogs.
Winner, loser, get out! Iron!
The loser reports to the penalty box,
Embarrassing.
where they
You got it right. This is embarrassing. It's embarrassing. I can do better than that, and I am not Marine material. I'm a figurehead. I talk on TV, and I could do this course better than they could. All of them.
perform a series of planks and other exercises.
This is a punishment for a Marine. Planks. That is laying on the ground. They don't have to lift their body weight. They don't have to clean the latrine with a toothbrush. They have to lay on the ground. That's called a plank. That's what you learn in kindergarten. Let's do planks. Kids, come on, let's do planks.
Intended to motivate them to avoid returning there.
There's two of them.
And they soon get a chance to redeem themselves.
Look at that. That's the face of a killer right there. A killer! Arrgh! She's getting knocked out in the first round. Period.
All recruits face off again in one-on-one body sparring.
Wait, am I against women being in the military? No, not at all. I'm against that kind of woman being in the military, because that kind of woman has no business being in the military. She should be in a kitchen somewhere. Somebody like, say, Gina Carano, or somebody of that ilk. Now, that's somebody I could see in the military. That person could hurt you. These people can't hurt you at all. Not even with weapons designed to hurt you. Watch, you'll see.
I think this is a way to just kind of keep them on their toes.
That Marine was wearing makeup.
Of their actions or the other person's actions.
Recruits are only allowed to strike the body, with no punches allowed above the neck.
Although...
But stray punches...
Look at that. That is a warrior for this country. That person is probably on a front line somewhere right now. Look at him. Her, him, her. Whatever it is, look at it. That is the Marines today. I'm terrified. I'm terrified because this is not the Marines that I'm accustomed to, that I grew up watching on TV, that I expected to be out fighting for our country. This is something else. And everybody should be upset about it. Everybody should be worried about it. Because those are the people that are going to defend us for the next 20 years. I don't know if they're going to win the next war, if this is the best they can do. So much for not changing their own lifestyle, so much for not being anything other than a Marine, not for little boys, but for men. Hoorah! Tough people. This is what is defending our country.
Do sometimes land.
Alright, now I gotta throw all this gear away.
And injuries can occur.
The old Marines would have told you to put some duct tape on it and get back out there. Don't sit there with toilet paper crying into a bag. Get up. Be a man. It's just a little blood. Wipe it off.
Alright, what company is this?
Hotel company, sir.
Hotel company?
Yes, sir.
There's a saying in the Corps that every Marine is first and foremost a rifleman.
Really?
Recruits spend 2 weeks devoted to marksmanship during boot camp.
2 whole weeks devoted to marksmanship. That's all they get. That's from never firing a gun to being a marksman. 2 weeks. I've been shooting all my life. All my life. And I'm not as good as they should be.
Yes, sir.
During the Crucible, recruits combine the skills they've learned on the firing range with movement in a simulated squad attack.
Alright, so first, you're going to be cover and move. Alright? And then automatically you're going to movement under fire, right? If people are shooting at you, you're automatically going to go to the prone, right? You're not going to give yourself that easy target, right?
Yes, sir. They have to be told not to allow people to shoot at them. Watch how they maneuver through these woods in their desert camis, sticking out like a sore thumb because they're not appropriately dressed for the environment they're in.
The squads move together through a wooded area before they reach the entrance to the range.
So you're going to stay tight to this tree line, you're going to run to that black tree. Go. Go, 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 go. Go right here.
Look at the enthusiasm. That guy's dead.
Fire blank rounds during the event, which simulates providing cover for their fellow recruits while they advance.
That guy's dead.
Come back flag to that berm. Stay alive.
By now, these recruits have worked up an appetite.
What is that? It's supposed to be Santa Fe rice and beans, but I literally don't taste the rice.
They're used to going to the chow hall, getting 3 square meals a day. Now they're going to be receiving essentially field rations, right? Our meals ready to eat MREs.
These are spicy. It's jalapeno. I know they're jalapeno.
Typically, a single MRE counts as 1 meal. For the Crucible, recruits have to ration 5 MREs over the course of the event.
Don't put a lot of water in it. Mix it up just right.
Are you guys enjoying this? Are you digging what I'm laying down? Are you still with me? Hello, hello, my old friend. Okay. I reckon you've seen enough. Yes? Alrighty then. My dog is back. The dog that has disappeared for 2 years is outside now. As soon as I'm finished with the podcast, I'm going to go out and pet him a little while and see if I can figure out where the hell he came from. That is very unusual. I've been here for several months now. No dog, day or night. All of a sudden, poof, there's a dog. Go figure. Kind of makes me curious. Kevin is driving. Are you at all interested in what I was just showing? It seems like not a lot of feedback. Maybe y'all aren't interested in the military that is defending our country. I found it to be quite shocking when I saw that video, because that is not at all what I remember growing up when I had the opportunity to be recruited into the military, which I never did, but I'm glad I didn't, if that's what's going to be. Pet Cemetery sound. Yeah, I'm telling you, he's been gone for 2 years. I had no idea he was still alive or even here. He couldn't have been here. Somebody had to have brought him back. It just makes me wonder who that somebody was. Obviously, somebody that watches this podcast, because I was just talking about him and there he is. I'll be curious to see if he stays here, if he's here tomorrow. I gave him something to eat, so we'll see. He just showed up out of nowhere. Maybe God knew I needed a dog. I'm happy too. I sure didn't expect that to happen. Don't need those anymore. Anyway, I thought I'd try something different tonight and do some commentary on some modern events, but that seems like it was a bust. So we'll try something different next time. I will eventually find something you guys like. Can't win them all. But I won tonight because my dog's back, at least for now. At least I know he didn't die, and at least I know it wasn't my fault. I thought either he went off in the woods and died, because dogs don't like to be around home when they die, they go off somewhere, or maybe the pound got him, or maybe somebody picked him up thinking I wasn't feeding him. It is weird about the dog. It's very weird. It's more than weird, it's uncanny, which means somebody did it. Somebody stole my dog and then brought him back when they realized I was home. And if I find out who that somebody is, we're going to have a talking. What movie? A Dog's Purpose? Is that the movie? I hadn't seen it. Is that the one with Harrison Ford and the CGI dog? Anyway, imagine my shock when I opened up the back door and there was my dog sitting there like he had never left, looking up at me like, yeah? What's going on? I need to go back out there and see if he sticks around. I wonder where he's been all this time. No, not the movie with Harrison Ford. I'll check it out. I'm not into really sappy movies, but I'll look to see what it's about. But just think about anybody that's been a Marine in the last 50 years, 100 years, see that video and see those children playing soldier out there and whining about their MREs and about their feet hurting and how cold it is. And just imagine what they would feel like. I had to go through real training and these people get pampered. There was no yelling and aggressiveness. Everybody was on, being kind to each other. And that's not how you make a Marine. That's how you make wimps who get beat. There's the dog's purpose. And 2 is the dog's journey. It's great. I'll look into it. It'll make you cry. I don't cry. That's not true. I cry all the time. Just don't tell anybody. I'm a man. Obviously, I'm not Marine material, or I would have been a Marine myself. They lost me at cut your hair. Yeah, it's way different. Whole different world. These people would not be comfortable in a computer simulated battle, let alone a real one. I would shudder to think what those girls would look like with a mortar going off beside their head or watching their best friend's head get blown off. Imagine what they're going to act like then. I can't see any of those people that was on that last video in a firefight. I can't imagine it. And it makes me wonder what the military's up to when they're allowing that. Surely they have to know that they're breeding children who are going to get killed, not warriors who might actually turn the tide of a battle. None of those people were warriors. And they were at the end of the training. That was the last week of training. That's when they become Marines and get sent off to go places. Just can't picture it. That's why it is so important for you to arm yourselves. Yes, I said it. Have your own firearms and protect your own home. And don't worry for anybody else to do it. You do it. You protect your home. You get the proper training that you need. Go to the shooting range and learn how to operate a firearm properly. Learn trigger discipline so you don't shoot anybody by accident. Learn how to load and reload and tear your firearm down to its nuts and bolts, clean it, put it back together in a quick fashion. Learn how to shoot a target, and then prepare yourself to protect your home should you ever need to. Hopefully it'll never come to that. Hopefully there'll never be a war in this country. I pray to God every day of some sort, but hopefully he'll keep this country safe. Making robots? Who's making robots? The military? Robots are never going to fight wars. No, that requires people. They might be making them, but they're not going to be deploying them anytime soon. That's just not the way battles are fought. Now, they do have drones, which I guess you could say is a robot. They do have that now. But those are just for precision strikes. They're not on the ground military. You still see the military getting deployed alongside of the drones. They only use those for strategic attacks. Now, you're talking to a guy that doesn't know that much about the military, because I'm not that kind of guy. You know, I never played war and walked around in BTUs and all that. I do own a pair of camouflage pants, but that's as far as I go. I do know how to shoot a gun, because I grew up shooting guns and hunting and all that sort of thing. But I don't know a lot about the rules of the military. But what I do know is that the guys that are recruited are supposed to be monsters, mean, killing machines. I do know that when they are deployed, they're supposed to be trained and prepared at tip-top shape, hand-to-hand combat, firearm combat, knife combat. They should be ready. Those people were not ready. Those people looked like they were entering the training course, not leaving it. And the fact that it's only like 4 weeks long is ridiculous. I thought you trained for an entire year to be a Marine. I thought boot camp was like a year long. But apparently not. And I don't know that any of them have ever held a machine gun before. By the way they looked on that battlefield, their asses all up in the air and jumping up, running in live fire. Well, of course they were using blanks, but still, it could have been a real fight, and that's the way they would act in a real fight. So it is sad. It's sad that that's the best of this country at this moment. That's what scares me. And I don't know if that's comforting or not. I lay in bed at night thinking about those children being sent to a war that, number one, we didn't start. I mean, that we started, sorry. And number two, they're not actually fighting for our freedom. They're fighting for some oil deal over in the Middle East. That's not the same thing. That's not what God's military is all about. You know, God sent men into war if they needed to conquer a people. If those people were, you know, terrorists or whatever, they needed to be conquered. So he sent battles in to conquer them, and they won every time because God was on their side. Now, when they went into battle when God didn't ordain it, they usually lost. Well, these battles are battles that God did not ordain, because they're not about freedom. They're not about our country or our protection or our people's protection. They're about acquisition, whether it be land or oil or rights, property rights or something like that. That's what these wars are being fought over. And they're wrong. They shouldn't be doing that. We should not go to another country and start a fight just to take their oil or to get a nickel cheaper on gas. You know, that all started around Vietnam. That war was unsanctioned by God, and we lost. Now, adversely, the Korean War, we won, or we got to a tie. But that war was over protecting our land, because that guy was trying to take over the world. Nazi Germany, we won that war because that guy was trying to take over the world. That was a sanctioned battle, sanctioned by God. You're not supposed to fight with people for no reason. You're supposed to only fight when there's no other choice, when it's either fight or be taken over. We're here now, so I'm going to shut down, okay? You do that. Enjoy yourself. I'm getting out of here anyway. I love you. Peace out. Enjoy the night. Remember me in your dreams. And I hope you win a bunch of money. So, before I leave, be sure to hit that subscribe button and press the bell icon so you'll get notifications of when I'm going to be here. Like, hit that like button like it owes you money. Share this video with somebody you love or somebody you hate. Either way, it works for me. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you're thinking. Question me, curse me, bless me, challenge me, confound yourself. As long as you're thinking, that's what I want for you. I want you to be thinking. And if you like what I'm doing and you think I've helped you in some way and you like to see me help other people or keep helping you, please take a moment and go to paypal.me/JakeJohnsonBand. Every little bit helps. It's a win-win-win. It's a blessing for me. It's a blessing for you. And everybody's happy. And I get to keep doing what I'm doing for a living. And with that, I thank you and I love you. And I will see you on Sunday with a big Bible study coming soon. Good night.